Magic.
Okay. I think we're on the air. My name's Omnidog, and I have a shitty modem that's brand new, and the thing keeps screwing up, and I'm calling to complain tomorrow. So, welcome to the show.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Before we start, you know who doesn't have a bad product? InStockTrades.com. They have a great product and great service, better than the service I'll get tomorrow, I bet, from my cable company. InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. By golly. Every quarter you get an Omnibroslive code that's worthwhile, unlike my cable modem. Over $50 in an order, you get free shipping. Unlike the cable modem I paid money for, you get free shipping. It's free. Fabulous customer service, not at my cable provider. At InStockTrades.com, it's fabulous. And they have fabulous packaging. I don't know about the packaging in my cable provider because he unboxed it. So it was probably fine. But I'm an unhappy customer, and InStock Trades doesn't have unhappy customers. All they have is happy customers. So there's my rant.
Wow.
Bravo. Bravo, sir. Way to turn it around. Way to turn that around.
I can't even access the chat. My freaking everything's wrong. I've got somebody else's video up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Everybody just calm down. Just calm down. Things are falling all over the place. I don't even know what's going on. I can't access the chat. I'm going to have to go to Chrome and open a new page or something.
Probably.
I'm afraid to. Can I hit tab? And yeah, all right.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? We'll start with the first part. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Old man yells at internet.
That's totally true. I am old, and I am a man, and I did yell.
Yes, thank you. It was worth your internet and your modem crashing for us to get that. So, where do we go from here? Our favorite artist tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on part 2 of Omnibros Live. I'm sure that segment is going to make it to the best of at the end of the year.
Oh, for sure. I'll make sure of that.
We really need to start timestamping these moments and make a best of at the end of the year.
Well, that was at the beginning of the crashed episode.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about our favorite artist, and I have to get out of here in about 20 minutes because I have Captain Marvel to go see tonight with my lovely lady.
Nice.
And she wanted to see it more than I did. Yoselin, if you're out there, I love you, baby. I'm doing this for you. Yeah, so let's talk. My favorite artist. It should come as no surprise, honestly, because I am obsessed with this man's universe, this man's art, and basically everything about him. And if I ever have him on the show, I think I will have a joygasm and a heart attack right there. I am talking about, of course, the legendary artist Mike Mignola.
Nice.
Louis not excited about watching it before all of us. No, I'm totally not excited about watching this tonight, but I'm going to give it a fair shake. I'm giving it a fair review. Mike Mignola, huh?
Do it for Goose.
I'm doing it for the show. I'm honestly, I'm doing it for the show because for me, I would probably wait this one out a few weeks. But Mike Mignola has been on the scene for, a good, what would you say, Jess? Probably 30 years at this point?
Oh, gosh. I feel like Hellboy came out, early 90s.
Yeah, Hellboy is early 90s. Hellboy, I think, just turned 25 years old. And that's really where Mike blew up onto the scene. And what I like about Mike's use of his art is that he is a master craftsman of using negative space, especially you can kind of tell I'm pre-gaming right now for Captain Marvel, especially Daddy had a sip before the show tonight. especially his use of just the way of blacks in the comic, the way he shadows everything, and the way he uses certain panels that are very minimal, and the way he just is able to shroud things in darkness, and he does it in such a masterful way without you losing details inside the art. Take, for example, that panel that Jess was just showing a few seconds ago where Hellboy's tail, it goes into the dark and then it comes back out. That's anatomically very correct because you could still see where the tail would attach even though that part is shrouded in darkness. I really love that about Mike, and I really love the way that he writes comics and he writes really dark stories, and how the Hellboy universe in general is really just a series of short stories that help flesh out this grander universe. You can get Hellboy stories that are 1 to 2 pages long, such as the Pancake story, the famous one, or you can get issues that you can get whole arcs that are just 3 issues long. Or you can get grand arcs such as The Wild Hunt, which are 8 issues long. Not many artists are able to do the short story and the long game as well as Mike. And the fact that he is a writer and an artist, and he has for over 25 years created this magnificent world full of characters and full of mythology, and how he mixes even Judeo-Christian mythology with African lore, and it's a level of craftsmanship that it's a level of craftsmanship that very few artists and writers today that I see can pull it off. I would say probably another one that's working his way up there today is probably Jeff Lemire, where I would kind of put him up there with his Black Hammer universe, where he's starting to craft his own little niche like that. But very few guys can do it as well as Mignola can.
Well said.
Well said.
And yeah, Hellboy's 25 plus, right? 25 years.
Yeah.
And Mike has done even great work outside of Hellboy, like Gotham by Gaslight, all the covers that he's done for DC and Marvel. So great stuff.
Chris M., you shut your whore mouth. Mike would never say his name with that. Yeah, so that's my number 1 pick. Do you want me to do my other 2? Because I got to get out of here.
Since you're the one that needs to leave to see the fabulous, I can't wait to see it, Captain Marvel. Yeah, you should do your next pick.
For the record, I am not driving tonight, if anybody's curious. My next pick, man, this one really hit me hard a few years ago when I heard about his passing. I still remember where I was, and like I said, these choices, I've talked about them quite a few times. And he was a guy that he died at such a young age, and he had so much talent, and he was able to really mix an old art style with new contemporary art styles, and the level of genius that he put on every single page, from his Parker series to his New Frontier, it's something that I don't think I have seen since he passed away, and I don't think we will see for a very long time. I'm talking about, of course, Darwyn Cooke. Darwyn Cooke, when he was alive, to me, was an artist that was just a master class of his own. To me, there was nobody else that could touch the way that, with a few simple lines, he showed so much power, so much emotion, so much detail. All you have to do is look at almost any single page from his masterwork, New Frontier, and you'll see what I'm talking about. New Frontier is, to me, his magnum opus, and Cooke described it the best way that I've heard anybody else describe it, which is, it's the right stuff for comics. Cooke was very, very opinionated on the fact that he thought if you don't have the writing chops to write these characters in an all-ages setting, because the characters kind of weren't really designed for these darker stories, then there's no reason why you should be writing these characters at all. And it's something that I agree with him to a huge extent. And Cooke was great at it. You can give New Frontier to somebody who's just getting into comics, or to somebody who's just learning to read, and they will get so much out of the story, even if they don't understand everything that's going on, or even if they don't understand the more subtle elements about it. It's a book that every time I read it, it fills me with hope for the industry, and at the same time, it makes me a little bit misty-eyed, because I just think that it's going to be a really long time before we get something like this that is in this caliber, in this league of its own, and it's a damn shame we don't get more content like this.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, totally. So then Cooke was a class of his own, especially just the way like he framed his characters, and just it was beautiful. It's a rare moment in artistry where you can have a fun, cool-looking comic book and still look beautiful, especially in the case of New Frontier, you're chat 50s and all that stuff, and it looks of that era, but with contemporary sensibility, I guess.
Jess, anything to say? Or
you guys have said it all. I can't add anything to Darwyn Cooke. He was brilliant, taken from us too soon, and nobody. I would have loved to have seen him team up with Ed Brubaker, but he wrote his own crime fiction stuff brilliantly, and wrote and illustrated his own crime fiction stuff just absolutely brilliantly. Illustrated the Parker stuff brilliantly. I love his Catwoman and Selena Kyle stuff. You can use the word genius as far as I'm concerned. It is immediately accessible, yet incredibly unique, and completely believable and heartfelt, and it fills me with joy, as you said.
Mm-hmm. He pulled the old Mary Kondo on me. Fills me with joy.
Fills me with joy.
My last choice is going to be, of course, man, how can I not have a best of list for my favorite artist if I don't include this man who is, some say, single-handedly responsible for making the Marvel Universe what it is today. He was on another level of creativity, and he was someone that was years ahead of his time. I'm talking about the magnificent and the wonderful king of comics, Mr. Jack Kirby. Jack the King Kirby back then, Jack the King Kirby was pulling stuff out of his head that we had never seen in comics. Just, you name it. The things that came out of specifically his Fantastic Four run with Stan Lee, some would say more Jack Kirby than Stan Lee.
A lot would say that.
Yeah, well, a lot would say that. Was incredible. Essentially, the Marvel Universe proper that we know today came out of Jack Kirby's head. Especially a lot of the cosmic stuff. The Inhumans, Galactus, Silver Surfer, Black Panther, the Fantastic Four, I mean, the Red Ghost. And the Red Ghost is a space monkey. That was stuff that it's just incredible, the amount of creativity that Kirby had in his head, and he was a workhorse. There are tons of people that would tell stories about how Jack Kirby would be able to churn out page after page after page in a single day, and even in his old age, he would still be churning out pages. And his wife Roz, who was the real ringleader of Jack, because if it was up to Jack, he would just give away just pages of comics to free, and Roz really had to wrangle that in and be his manager when he got really old. It's just insane. I really, it's in the same category of Cooke, where I really don't think we will ever get another Jack Kirby, somebody who was that creative, that ahead of his time. And his art, even by today's standards, I would say holds up. The amount of power that he shows in a single panel, even though his proportions are a little bit weird and the way he would draw anatomy isn't what a lot of people would like, I challenge anybody out there to look at that and say there is not a sense of real pathos and a real sense of power in every single damn panel that man put his heart into.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's incredible. It really is. And it's his art, if I could explain it, it's almost like if it's 3D, but it's not 3D. It's not really popping off the page, but it kind of has that feel.
Yeah, it's so unique to Jack that nobody else can come close to replicating it, and it works for some reason. Like, he cracked the secret code because it works. Like you said, anatomically, it may not make a little bit of sense where you have disproportionate angles and all that stuff, but there's a fluidity and emotion to it that's really pretty to look at, and you'll just have a good time reading it, regardless of the era. It's a classic for a reason.
Oh, it totally is. And what's great about Jack is that there's a documentary out there on YouTube, and I recommend you guys check it out. I don't remember the name, but they interview a few artists, and they would say that when they saw Jack working on his old board, he would be all over the place with his art and somehow make it connect, where he would do an arm on this side, maybe a leg for Johnny over here, maybe another arm for the Thing over here, Reed's head would be over here, and he would just bounce around and he would make it work. And it's insane. And it's the level of creativity that I'm like, you son of a bitch, you are so great at it. And it kind of, it makes my heart sad because I've heard stories of, especially with Jack when he was in his older years, when the 90s era hit, where he would go to cons and he would just be sitting there. Nobody would really nobody would really be coming up to his booth. I think Jack really got the level of respect he deserved post his life, which is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think about it today, a Jack Kirby sketch today, like an authentic sign, would probably fetch for a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like, even when he left Marvel and went to DC and created the New Gods and all that stuff, like, even at his, at an older age, he was still creating amazing content, and he was just a workhorse, like you said.
Well, and they still didn't treat him with respect at DC. They still whited out his faces on Superman and had Superman's face redrawn in the house style, which is infuriating when you think about it, that he was treated that way. No creator would stand for that now, but back in 1972 or whenever that was, I mean, he had to take a cigar and chomp on it and just sit there and take it. And it's just unbelievable way to treat a creator that they would white out Superman's face and redraw it.
Oh man, can you imagine if this day and age they would do something like that to, say, like Greg Capullo or somebody like that? Or Sean Murphy or something. How the internet would be on fire.
Oh, Greg Capullo would go in there and punch the editor-in-chief in the nose.
Oh, that would not work in today.
No.
Greg's a big guy too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all for me as far as my art. And yeah.
All right. Well, those are 3 good choices.
My dog
excellent choices.
She tripped over my cord for the headphones.
Oh.
She's all right.
Yay.
Capullo would smash someone.
I love that Nathaniel 8448 said I went all Bill O'Reilly at the very beginning.
Well, that was your Bill O'Reilly.
I'll write it and we'll do it live. The whole thing sucks. Which is a great video if you haven't seen it. Bill O'Reilly's meltdown on YouTube is probably one of the greatest things on YouTube.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Okay. Gio, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure.
Or do you have to check out right now, Luis?
Yeah, I gotta check out. I gotta go. I gotta finish getting ready for this, which involves various things that I can't talk about right now. So I will say,
prepare.
I have to mentally prepare. No, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I hope I'll be fine. I just want to see a good movie tonight.
You will. You're going to see a good movie tonight.
Would you be willing to bet the money for my movie ticket on it?
No, because movies are completely subjective. I know I'm going to see a good movie tomorrow because I'm going in with a positive attitude. Your attitude sucks.
No. I'm going in with as much of an unbiased attitude as
you are not. You are so
yes,
not.
I am.
Your attitude, you are so predisposed to not like this movie.
That is not true. I want this to be my end game. I want this to be my Godfather, my Schindler's List. I want this to be that.
Your Schindler's List.
Schindler's List. Wow, damn. I think you're going to give it 6.5 out of 10 when we meet again on Sunday.
You think so?
I think so, yeah. Or a 7.
I think he's going to give it a 7.
Okay. Yeah. What? No. What? Oh, okay. God damn it. What makes you think that?
Because you've already given it a 7 in your head.
I have not. I'm going into this with as clear, somewhat clear of a mind, as clear and unbiased of a mind as possible.
Oh, that is so not true.
Sure.
Sure, dude.
I am. I am trying my best to enjoy this. I'm doing this right.
You're trying to convince yourself. You're not doing a good job of convincing us.
No, dude. I always say I want to give every single movie I watch a fair shake. Every single one. So everybody in the chat, what do you think I'm going to give it? I'm seeing an 8.75. God, that's specific.
That is specific.
That is very specific.
Yentl. It's going to be your Yentl.
It's going to be my Yentl? Oh, fuck me, Yentl. No. This is gonna be the female version of Citizen Kane. It's gonna be the second coming of Christ. You know, if I'm to believe everybody that wants to love this online. So we'll see.
Wow. Okay. We'll see on Sunday.
We will see on Sunday.
I am just a guy with an opinion, and for that, I am being crucified for it right now. Okay. That's. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's all. We'll see how this does. All right, everybody. So if you want to catch up on my random bullshit and thoughts, you can find me on Comics Guide 101 on YouTube and Facebook. I am going to go catch Captain Marvel tonight. And yeah, I won't be giving, even these guys won't know what I think about it until Sunday. So no, I'm not going to give anything away. I want you guys to wait. So yeah, I will see you all Sunday. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care, Luis.
Later.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
And he's out.
He is out.
He's going to love it. He's going to enjoy it.
He's going to enjoy it despite himself. Wait a minute. I got another YouTube video playing in the background. Let me get rid of that. Ooh. Oh, that's you there. Okay, wait. Let me get rid of that. Yeah, and I look terrible. Get rid of that. Okay.
Oh, that's not true. You always look fabulous.
No, we looked all muzzled and goofy. And wait, let me get rid of this. Let's see how we're looking here on Google. Oh, I don't even see us on Google. Everything's a mess. Hey, how do we look out there, everybody? I can't see us. Something's gone horribly wrong. Do we look okay? Everybody? Chris M, Chris Davis, Lloyd Wong, Tyler Blunt, How do we look? Are we clear? Are we fuzzy? Are we choppy? Mr. Awesome says we're okay. Looks perfect. Okay. I see you all fine. Okay.
Oh.
The best you've looked in weeks. Just better than Geo. Okay. Okay, great.
Oh.
Thank you. Are you watching Larry the
Okay.
Enticer? I don't know who Larry the Enticer is.
Me neither.
I'm sorry, I don't know who Larry the Enticer. Yeah, it's a fuzzy sweater. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gio, how about your 3 artists that you enjoy the most?
Okay. First, I'm going with something that means a lot to me. It is Ultimate Spider-Man. Of course, I'm talking about Mark Bagley, or Bagley,
Ah,
however you want to say it. I love this guy's art ever since I was a kid because I first started in comic books reading random 90s comics, whether it was the Clone Saga or regular Amazing Spider-Man issues. But eventually, the thing that turned me into a comic book collector was the Ultimate Spider-Man series. I don't know if you know this story. I'll do a brief summary. Basically, in 2008-ish, there was a vendor that was selling this, Volume 3, sorry, of Ultimate Spider-Man. This is Volume 2. And I would keep passing by, and I'd be interested, but I wasn't collecting or reading. Eventually, I loved it, especially because of Bagley's artwork. It's fun, it's dynamic, it's it oozes a little bit of 90s aroma, but it's all. I think like Mark in the list of Spider-Man artists, I think like he's somewhere in the middle for a lot of people. Like, yeah, sure, he has a huge fan base, but typically people just they just group him in the middle. Whereas I think he's probably my favorite artist for Spider-Man. It's probably because of the big eyes or the way everybody's sort of blanky looking or something. I don't know. I just really like his artwork, especially. I don't know if everybody can see my book here, but this is one of my favorite illustrations of Spider-Man, and it's all very vibrant and action packed. I don't know. I really enjoy uh, Bagley's art. Here we have some more from the Ultimate line, and he's done a little bit of everything. So yeah, this would be my first pick. I don't know what you think of Mr. Bagley,
I'm not that
Mr.
familiar.
Bragg.
I'm not that familiar with his work since I'm way behind on all my Marvel reading. So I'm going to have to leave it to you. And I'm sure Omar likes him too. Probably Ryley. I'm woefully behind on Ultimate Spider-Man. I haven't, that's a run. That's a read through I should probably do this year. I need to get all amped up on
Yeah.
dew bombs like for a week and read
Oh
the whole
God.
thing.
Oh, if you want to die, then go ahead and drink a dew bomb. Jesus.
I know. That dew bomb episode almost sent me to the emergency room.
I was really concerned. I'm like, that is not safe. But you were a trooper. You went in. But Ultimate Spider-Man, I wholeheartedly, sorry, recommend it. It's one of my favorite runs. It's what got me into comic books. It's reader friendly and it has great, fun, kinetic artwork from Bagley, in my opinion.
Cool.
Do you want me to do the other picks?
Yeah. Why don't we just go through our picks and I'll finish it up. And Joe Chip,
Okay,
just so you know, Gabe Bustamantes, if he was on, he would say Jeff Darrow because he said Joe Mad, Jeff Darrow, and I can't remember the third, but those were his top 2 artists that he said were his 2 of his top 3.
I was thinking of adding Joe Mad, but I went with somebody else instead, and you might know him.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Ottley. This to me exemplifies what I love about comic books, where you can take something bright and colorful and just dynamic, and even if the story's dark or serious, you can have a good time with the artwork, and it can make an interesting contrast with the ultra violence and detail and all that stuff. And Ryan, you know, he has a lot of manga anime sensibilities, which I appreciate because I love both mediums, I guess. And Invincible just is the perfect example of that. He has a very unique art style and one of the craziest, let's see if I can find the actual page, like one of the bloodiest covers right there with poor Adam Eve right there.
Oh, yeah.
Like the amount of gore and attention to detail is insane in panels like this. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see that really well.
Yeah, it looks badass. I love this specific. This is my favorite book out of the Invincible run, the 12 books, with the whole conquest fight and all that stuff. It's very anime-ish, but I love it, man. I like bright, colorful things. That's my color palette choice. And Ryan just fits the bill, in my opinion. So,
nice.
Yeah. And last but not least, this was hard. I wanted to pick, it was either this artist or I'm going to channel my inner Omar here. Paul Pelletier, is that his name? The artist?
I am not familiar with that artist.
I don't know if I'm saying the name right, so that's why I channeled my inner Omar. But I ultimately I picked something else. I went with one of my favorite artists, Ivan Reyes. This is his work on Brightest Day. I have the regular hardcovers, and actually this is one of my favorite covers. Even though that's David Finch. So, but Ivan does. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but he does some really excellent work in Brightest Day with the introduction of Calderon, Aqualad, and all the elemental works and the White Lantern concepts and all that stuff. Are detailed and just awesome, especially with Green Lantern with Jeff Johns, and then Aquaman New 52. And all the different series that he's done, he has this darker sensibility, but he's able to really define the characters. Like they look gorgeous, they look buff, and they look badass and ready to strike at any moment. I love the definition and the style that you know he brings to the table with the characters, especially on a book like this. With let's see if I can find another panel. Like, yeah, you know, it's intricately detailed compared to the other two that are more stylistic, but I really like Ivan's work, especially on New 52 with Aquaman. I didn't want to be a total fanboy. I didn't want to bring the omnibus, and I brought this instead, Brightest Day, one of my favorite events, actually. So,
nice.
So, yeah. 3 picks.
Very cool. Okay. My picks, 2 will not be a surprise. 1 may be a surprise. Let me lift up this beast and find some representative work of this guy. This, if anybody has seen, it's my most popular video. I think it's gotten probably 12,000 views, which is a lot for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is the video of Neal Adams and why I
know that one.
Like his Batman omnibus that he recolored and redrew and ruined. In this Bronze Age Batman, Brave and Bold, is the original stuff. So you can actually see. Now, what the big deal is that before Neal Adams, now I'm not trying to harsh on the buzz of previous artists, but art was a little bit cartoony in comic books.
Yeah.
These are some of the previous artists on Brave and Bold, and I mean it's fine. It's fine for what it was, but we were dealing with, you know, the Batman, how he's known now as Batman 66, we were dealing with a lot of Penguin and Joker and Riddler stories and the Grasshopper Gang and a bunch of kind of junky characters that and artists that were catering to mostly 8-year-olds, stories that were catering to 8-year-olds, and artists that were dumbing it down. And Dennis O'Neil, and who did not write these brave and bold stories. I think Bob Haney might have. That's not the point. We're doing art, so. But the point was that Neal Adams came in and said, "I draw superheroes that if they were real, this is the way they would look." And he pretty much blew the dust off of everyone's eyes and drew superheroes and people very realistically at the time, starting in about 1968. And it was a revelation how realistic and dynamic his stuff was compared to I did not. Nathan Burkholz is texting me saying, "I told you about Neal Adams George Lucasing his shit before it came out, and you still bought it." Well, it got ruined in the flood, and I didn't. I I got a good video out of it, and it got ruined in the flood, and I didn't replace it. Nathan. So his artwork was dynamic and amazing and kinetic and very realistic. And before it got changed by him, I mean, now this is not Batman, but this is Brave and Bold. But this gives you an idea, or a taste at least, of before it was changed, what it looked like. And it's important because what we had beforehand was very juvenile and simplistic, and he turned it into a mature, kind of grown-up, interesting, realistic kind of. And here's some Aquaman and Mira,
Nice.
and
Awesome.
into a more, not adult, but he turned it into a modern story and a modern way of looking at comic characters. It was time to get them into the 70s instead of in the 50s, where comics were still stuck, and he brought them into the 70s with his style, which was remarkable. And he single-handedly, I believe, in my humble opinion, helped change the industry with his realistic style.
Oh, for sure.
So that's my favorite artist number one, the unchanged, undiluted Neal Adams.
The original.
The original.
Not the...
Next.
It gave...
What's that?
Say it gave the medium the seriousness it needed
to
go past the...
It was time to grow up, and he helped it. Now, this next artist also helped change the medium. His stuff I consider landmark stuff. When I first read it, when did that book come out? Let's see, sometime in the 90s when Marvels came out. That book is too big for me to show, but it blew me away. Not only was Kurt Busiek's writing fantastic, but I'm talking about Alex Ross, and his painted artwork was the most realistic thing you could ever get, where not only did comic book characters look real, but they looked so real, it was like they could photorealistic practically. It looked like they could come off the page. These painted characters, he drew life into these flat panels. These were almost three-dimensional. These were living, breathing human beings with superpowers that he made real to me. These were not simply drawings. These were works of art that helped compel and push the story forward, make it believable, make it remarkable, make it simply unprecedented. The stuff that he has done, what he has accomplished. Last year, I went to a retrospective of his down in, gosh, I forget. It was a little town in Virginia that for some reason had an Alex Ross exhibition. And we weren't allowed to take pictures. So, of course, I took 100 photos with my iPhone. And I've been afraid to post them. But this is from Absolute Justice, these examples that I'm showing. But his work is almost supernatural. As I said, I mean, I can't say it enough that he breathes life into these characters. And I don't know how he is as a writer on Earth X. I have not read that book, but we're talking about art here, so that's okay. But he is simply one of a kind, as Neal Adams did in the 70s, in the 90s with Marvels and with Justice and Kingdom Come and Earth's Mightiest Superheroes. Alex Ross raised the bar as Neal Adams raised the bar. You simply cannot talk about great artists without mentioning Alex Ross, who is in simply a league of his own. He stands apart from everyone else, in my humble opinion, and is one of the greatest artists of all time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I had a pic that I was going to post for sentimental reasons from my childhood, and I realized that if we're talking about comics, that it would be a complete injustice if I did not go with the obvious choice in my opinion, and that is R. Crumb. R. Crumb, there is no one like R. Crumb. When you talk about the use of black and the absolute masterfulness of pen and ink, there is no one like. Now I have to be careful because sometimes he can be a little raunchy, so I have to be careful with what I show. Okay, wait a sec. There is nobody on this earth like R. Crumb. He is simply a modern master. He goes beyond comics. He is up there with modern artists of all genres, of all kinds, Museum of Modern Art. He is an incredible, fabulous artist who completely changed the medium, raised the bar back in the 60s with his contributions to underground comics, with his Zap comics, with and if I was any kind of collector, I'd have absolutely everything he ever did. Unfortunately, I am not the greatest Crumb collector. I have a lot of his stuff. I don't have nearly enough. He doesn't put out so well. I do have a lot of Weirdo, was the comic book that he put out. I do have a lot of those issues. but he has very many styles. Here you can see he's doing stuff on old blues musicians.
Oh, that's great.
And wait, what is this? This is Where Has It Gone? All the beautiful music of our grandparents. This is, he often guests on the soapbox and rants similar to my rant at the beginning about modern society and everything wrong with it. He hates modern music and likes things from the 20s, like ragtime, jazz, and blues from the 20s. But you know what? I don't even have the proper words. They made a whole movie out of the guy, and it was a compelling movie just called Crumb. And I urge you to see it if you have any interest whatsoever in one of the modern masters of artwork. Our Crumb is simply not to be matched by anyone in his use of pen and ink.
That looks really good. It's the first time I'm seeing some of those panels, unfortunately, for me, but it looks amazing. I love that level of detail.
Oh, yeah. He's a crosshatcher extraordinaire. I can't show you that probably. He does have a an interesting life that is highly detailed in that movie Crumb, which is very much worth a watch. And he had a friendship with Harvey Pekar of American Splendor fame. That movie also is worth a watch. American Splendor, Harvey Pekar, who wrote American Splendor and got R. Crumb to illustrate some of those and other famous books. Harvey Pekar, he may be good for me to use American Splendor for obscure comics because not everybody knows about him, and they should.
I don't know about him, so yeah. How old is that movie? The
Crumb?
The movie you mentioned?
I would have to look that up. I feel like that came out in the early 2000s.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
Oh, yeah. I have the Book of Genesis. Where is that? He illustrated the entire Book of Genesis from the Bible, word for word. Oh, there's the R. Crumb Handbook. This is a really good book. Just a sec.
Nice. Yep. This is the intermission, guys. Don't worry about it. And we're back.
And we're back.
I've
Crumb
seen that
is
cover
1994.
before.
I don't know why. Here.
Ooh,
Crumb is from 1994. Okay. Yeah, Pekar used to appear on Letterman a lot in the 80s, and he Pekar writes about him a lot in American Splendor. This is the R. Crumb Handbook, which comes with a CD of his favorite music.
Nice.
And it's got a lot of interesting stuff in here. It's got I don't know, it's more I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of his writings and thoughts and just a book about some of his creations and things.
Oh, that's nice. That looks cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I just love R. Crumb. And this here he is with Harvey Kurtzman. This is Crumb here.
Okay.
So anyway, that's how I feel about R. Crumb. Yeah, American Splendor was 2003. That's probably what I'm thinking of. But yeah, American Splendor and Crumb are two great movies to watch. Um, Crumb just had a terrible childhood and a bit of a messed up adulthood too. Gosh, he just all this talent, and sometimes I feel like, whoops, I'm sorry, I have it isolated on me, and I'm sitting here spouting off. I feel like a lot of times you get these talented, tortured artists, and to be a really great artist, a lot of times I feel like they live tortured lives. And that's how they become so great. And in Crumb's case, he's definitely led a tortured life, and it's a fascinating guy.
It's like those life experiences, like they give you that ammunition to make awesome content out there. Whereas people that haven't gone through that stuff, maybe their work isn't as memorable, perhaps. But I totally understand what you mean by that. It makes sense.
Let's see. Oh, did ETL tune in for my sweater? Just logged back in to see the sweater. Thank you, ETL. I wanted to make sure you saw the sweater. haven't fitted into it for 15 years, so I just wanted to make sure you saw it.
Well, you look great in it.
And thank you, Polly P. Thank you, Gio. I appreciate that. Yeah, Joe Chip, his brothers are even more tortured, and that movie just is heartbreaking. It is a heartbreaking movie, ultimately. Yeah. So those are our top artists. Those are our top artists. I'm a lot calmer than I was at the beginning of the show, so I'm kind of back in normal Jess mode. So I guess I should talk about InStockTrades.com more in the usual manner, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. Every quarter, there's an Omnibroslive code that gets you extra percentages off. If you're in the United States and you order $50 or more, you get free shipping, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Let's all relax. Okay.
Perfect. Well done.
There we go.
We're good now. It's
okay. Everything's okay. Everybody's okay. So people are chiming in with some of their favorite artists, Mignola and Sakai. Those are good ones. Scotty Young, Sarah Pacelli, and Stephanie Hans. Interesting choices. Very good. Stupid Sexy Jess. Thank you, Luis. Luis says, I am surrounded by a sea of estrogen.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
Embrace it, my friend. Embrace it.
Embrace it. Dirty Hot Dog Waterful likes Tim Sale. Okay. There we go. Any other choices out there? Who are your favorite artists? Now that
the thing with artists is I picked 3, but I love a whole lot more. There's a lot to choose from. And it happens a lot to me where I'm reading a book and I love this artist, but eventually I get tired of it because I want to see something else. So it's great to have like this catalog of artistry, Pacelli and I was gonna pick like Mignola, but Louise beat me to it. But there's so much good art out there that every choice is valid. Every you like somebody, that's good. If you like somebody else, that's even greater than that.
Well, yeah, it is super subjective. I mean, like everything in media, it is very subjective. Who you like is not necessarily what somebody else is going to like, but it's who you like is completely valid because you like who you like. And, I'm looking over at some other stuff. And J.H. Williams. There's a name that I love, J.H. Williams.
Oh yeah,
I
super
worship
fancy.
the ground that Carmine Infantino walks on. I should have mentioned him for his Flash stuff. That was the stuff that really got me into comics, was Infantino's work in the Flash and Batman. That was the stuff that really got me into comics back in the 60s. I see Tales of the Batman, Lane Wayne. That's his writing. Jim Apato's artwork. I love Jim Apato's Batman and his Spectre stuff. So we could easily have part. Well, this is part 2 because I botched the first one, but
we should make another video with the rest of the Omnibros, so we'll have like more choices and stuff.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, get other
because I want to hear what. Well, we already heard Gabe's picks, but like what Ryley and Omar pick as their top 3 and stuff.
Esad Ribic, that's a good one. His stuff's beautiful.
Oh yeah, Esad Ribic. You've got what's the guy's name that did Batman and Robin, New 52? Gleason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Patrick Gleason. Yeah, just there's so Brad Walker's also great. I'm looking off to my books over there. Jay Lee with his work in Inhumans, I really love.
Yeah, I like Jay Lee too.
Who did American Vampire? I forgot. Albuquerque. Albuquerque's great too.
Yeah.
Oh, and the guy that did BPRD. I forgot. Oh shoot! The artist of BPRD. Let me Google
Arcudi.
Listen, Arcudi. Thank you. Yeah, I love that guy's artwork.
Yeah, and of course, somebody else brought up the fact that there's tons and tons of European artists that we don't even. That I need to go yank my my humanoids and some of my books that Bon Idlehouse has recommended to me, European books. There's lots of great European artists that I never get a chance to talk about.
That's an area where I'm very green. I would like to learn more about.
Yeah,
European
I am too.
artists.
I admit that I am definitely lacking in my knowledge of European comics. Jock, there's another great artist.
John Byrne's pretty good too.
Yeah,
I love his stuff on Fantastic Four. That's great.
I love his Superman.
So,
yeah, we could go on and on.
He's a newbie, but I really like Jorge Jimenez. That does work on DC now, the Justice League and Super Sons. It's very, very colorful. I love that.
Who's the one that did Wonder Woman? Is that Phil Jimenez?
The recent Omnibus?
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil Jimenez. Yep.
Yeah, his stuff's beautiful.
Yep. Cliff Chang is also one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Who did the Brave and the Bold comic with Batman and Wonder Woman that came out last year, I think?
Oh yeah.
Liam Sharp?
Liam Sharp, yeah.
Oh, that dude is amazing. I love his artwork.
Yeah, Dave Gibbons. Dave Gibbons is great. Mitch Gerards. Wait, is it Gerards or Gerads?
Confused. Like, I did a video on it and I butchered his name. I'm sorry.
Wait, I had Miracle Man right here. Where is it? Whatever.
He escaped because he's an escape artist. So that's why you can't find it.
Yeah. I think I've read it. Oh, there it is.
Mr. Miracle.
Gerads.
There you go.
Okay, so
yeah.
we've got lots and lots of artists we can talk about, so there will definitely be another episode.
Mhm.
And I'm getting a new router, by golly. You can count on that. I'm calling tomorrow.
Look for it on a haul pretty soon, I
Yeah.
suspect.
Yeah, you will be seeing a new router in my hall next week because I'm getting it tomorrow. So, Gio, where can they find you on the internet?
Well, you can find me here on YouTube, A Week in Geekdom, where I do reviews on anime, manga, movies, comic books, and all that fun stuff. So just subscribe there, A Week in Geekdom, and hopefully you'll enjoy the content.
You do it all. You cover it all.
I'm a little bit lazy this year, but eventually I get to stuff. I like to cover a little bit of everything.
Right. And you can find me, Omnidog, on YouTube on Omnidog's Vault and on Instagram, Omnidogs_Vault. So on behalf of the OmniBros and InStockTrades.com, I say peace and love, peace and love. Thank you to the chat tonight. You were great. As always, good night and have a fabulous tomorrow. Peace and love, peace and love.